What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and I often do map run-throughs of maps that I like or find enjoyable. And that includes the Bloodshot Stronghold, Digistruct Peak, Southpaw Steam and Power, and many more, such as the Rush Yards. However, I got asked the question, are there any maps that you don't like? And there definitely are. In fact, this map, the Beatdown, which is from the second DLC, actually, Mr. Torgue's campaign of Carnage, I find to be absolutely atrocious and would be my pick for the worst map in the game. That is just because the map is almost strictly made up of sniper enemies who have, high damage over time effect guns. Usually they seem like they're Malawan or Vladov snipers, but pretty much any sniper is going to have a high elemental effect chance, and this particular area has a lot of snipers and Malawan SMG carrying enemies. And at overpower levels, it just becomes a battle of fighting against the damages over time. There are also some stupid barrels, and in addition to that, for a DLC area, this particular map only has one type of new enemy, which I think is a very uninspired and kind of stupid enemy, which is the little motorcycle that has a side cart that drives around. The rest of these enemies are pretty much just reskins of other enemies. Those big fat guys are just kind of like Goliaths that don't get their head popped off and just kind of randomly go into Goliath mode without recovering health. And obviously the rest of the stuff is just Torgue clad, regular Marauders and Bruisers and stuff. As you can see, almost every enemy is having, something that has a damage over time effect or a slag effect, which is almost as bad. Can be worse in certain situations actually. But as you saw there, that Bruiser had another elemental sniper. Here's those little bikes that I was talking about, which I don't find very, fun or cool to fight at all. They just kind of drive around and then eventually blow up. In my opinion, this whole map is just really, really stupid. What irritates me a little bit about this map is that there seems to be a lot of people that like it, and I cannot find a single reason for that. Pretty much everything about this map irritates me, to be honest, and it only has one real purpose, which is to add time to your walk to get to Pyro Pete. They did that with kind of all the raid bosses to an extent, and I'm not really sure why you would keep your raid bosses, very far from a fast travel. That just seems to punish the people who actually want to fight the raid bosses, which are actually, few and far between. So that's, something kind of irritating to me, and that's why I don't really like this map at all. Because I was making this video on the worst map in the game, I did want to go ahead and actually play through it, make myself suffer through that. I wasn't going to just say bad things about the map and then not play it at all. As you can see, I'm already running from some more damage over time snipers, and it's all just, irritating to me. I guess that guy there, he had 2 sniper rifles. He was a Gunzerker type enemy there with 2 sniper rifles, so just an even more increased chance to apply damage over time to you. I have to stand pretty far away from these guys and try to lure them out a little bit, because even if I get my executes flying over, if I have no follow-through bonus or anything like that, it's very unlikely that I would make it all the way to these enemies, and I would get caught with a damage over time as soon as I fell out of Deception, or possibly even while I was still in Deception trying to approach them. Because when you go into Deception, it doesn't make you invincible or immune to bullets. You're just hidden from the enemies, so they usually shoot in the wrong direction. However, if you're covering such a long distance like that, no matter where you threw your decoy, as you traverse that gap, you're going to cross their line of fire at some point. And so those are just things to watch out for when you have enemies which have a lot of damage over time effects, because at overpower level 8, these damage over times can definitely be a death sentence, and that's something that I usually like to avoid. Anyway, the rest of this video will just be covering me going through the rest of the map. It works around in a circle. This is another thing that kind of irritates me about the map. There was a pseudo boss back here, and he doesn't respawn at all. There's also no mini boss in this map at all, which I generally find to be a kind of waste of a map. It would be cool if every boss could have, or not every boss, but every map could have at least one boss. That would be an improvement I think they could make in future Borderlands games, because maps without a mini boss, they sometimes get forgotten after a while. Some maps can get away with not having a mini boss, like the Friendship Gulag I think is still a good map without one. But it's nice for there to just be, one super badass enemy throughout the map. That's something I personally enjoy. For example, in Bloodshot Stronghold, there is Mad Mike, and also the little ninja rats as well. The ninja rats are optional, but Mad Mike you pretty much have to work through. And he's not even too inspired. He doesn't have a designated drop or anything. But it's cool that there's, one enemy that's different from all the rest that's kind of the toughest part of the map. And that's something I enjoy in these maps, but, this map doesn't really have any redeeming qualities at all. I guess the only thing you could really say about this map positively is that there's actually 2 different ammo machine locations. And even that's kind of stretching and reaching for something to actually like about this map. Like I said, pretty much all of these enemies, except for these stupid bikers, are just reskins. They're nothing really that impressive or anything. We'll go ahead and finish off the rest of these guys. I guess I'm going to cut the commentary off here. I don't really have anything more to say. You guys probably only want to listen to me hate on the map so hard. So I do thank you guys very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. Videos in the future are going to be a lot more upbeat than this. I just had this particular quell with this map, and someone asked me to make a video on a map that I didn't like. And so here it is. I do not like the Beatdown. I think it's the worst map in the game, and I'd recommend avoiding it at all costs. Just gib yourself into Pyro Pete. It's much more fun and time efficient than walking there because this map sucks. Bye, guys.
You were deceived. You die from your ignorance. Farewell, you moron.